Good. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Everybody's going to take the time to watch this. It's at the Health Channel, and my name is Nema Lema. I have a very special guest who's going to introduce herself. But before that, I want to say thank you so much for the support you guys gave me during the month of April. We were talking about autism awareness, and I hope we were able to deliver and meet your expectations. I know there was one Monday, the fourth Monday, we were not able to post a video because of that long weekend. But nevertheless, I'm hoping I'll be able to do that somewhere in June. So this month, we are going to talk about children's mental health. And this is going to be our first video. And I hope you guys work with us. Send us your comments. Remember to comment, to like, and to share, and to tell more and more people, because I think this is the best that you can give to your child. And without further ado, please, Peris, introduce yourself, and then you go into our discussion.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Peris Wambugu. I am a transformational life coach with lots of interest in parenting. Let me say I'm a parenting enthusiast or something like that. So, yes, I'm really happy to be here and to get to share this with you, the deep insights and all those. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for accepting. And imagine we're recording this at 6 a.m. Yeah, and that's how early Peris is, and we are happy. So, children's mental health. I'll read a definition I got from CDC. It says children's mental health is when they reach their developmental and emotional milestones, learning healthy social skills, and how to cope when there are problems. So if your child is able to achieve this, then you can say that they're actually mentally healthy. And I know this definition will be different for children who have special needs, especially those who have developmental disorders or any other disabilities that involve their milestones, their developmental milestones, their emotional milestones, specifically when we're coming from something like autism. So we're going to have a special topic on how best we can make sure that we parent those children, even though they're having that disabilities, still their mental health is going to be good. So this will be mainly for the neurotypical child, but I'm sure there's things that you can borrow in case you're a parent who's parenting a child who has special needs. So Peris.
Yes.
If we are to parent a child who's stable mentally, who's healthy mentally, I think I always have to start by looking into yourself as a parent. Yes. And when we look at ourselves as parents, our generation, the way we were raised and the way challenges that we faced are completely different from actually what we're seeing right now.
Yes.
So as parents, how best can we do this? How best? Because it's like we're transitioning two generations. We don't know what the future holds for these children. And we still have our own challenges that we carried from 20, 40, 30 years ago. So how best can we do this? Yeah.
Okay, so in the past, or how you were parented, we found that most of our parents came out as all-knowing. They were unquestionable, and they parented us through control mostly. It was instructions. It was like mostly military. You had to do this, do that, and you had to follow without questioning, even if you had those questions in your heart. Because if you question again, the consequences, oh my goodness, this is the parent, he is up there, and you are the one who should be. The parent is always right. In fact, it even went further to say that parents are like second gods, and it instilled a lot of even fear in us that we could not bring out what we really wanted to say. But dad, but mom, because when you tried to say but or I think, no, I am always right. So nowadays we cannot use control as a tool for parenting, because the children are more exposed, and they're able to see even other children, maybe on the internet or on the television, speaking out with their parents, having these conversations, and that's the deep desire within them, and they need to have them. So where parenting now was done through control, we need to figure out another way and see, how do I bring up my children in a way that they won't feel controlled. Control brings a certain kind of thing. A child feels, I'm not enough, I'm not able to do something. Control actually takes away from the child instead of adding, adding and nurturing into the child. So now we need to understand that the children have been loaned to us. Okay, the children, though they come from us, they are not us. Okay. They cannot be mini versions of ourselves. We like saying, or our parents used to tell us, in our day, this is what used to happen. We used to go to the shamba and then we go to school. So in our day, we used to walk 10 kilometers, or we used to do this. Right now, we can only use that to tell stories of our day, but not use it as a form of, parenting. We cannot expect our children to be mini versions of ourselves. So that is one thing. So we need to come from the control point of view and help the children think. Instead of telling a child, don't throw stones, for example, ask them, what do you think will happen if you throw stones? So this gives them a chance to think, what will happen if I throw stones? And then they will say, if I throw stones, I might hit the window, I might hit my brother, I might do this and that. And then now they get to give answers to themselves. So it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing to throw stones. And even if they see someone else throwing a stone, they are going to, don't throw stones, you get, or they'll tell the other person. No, they'll be the ones who will take charge, because you've given them a chance to think for themselves, instead of just pumping them with instructions, the way instructions were pumped at us all the way from home, every minute, at school, that kind of thing. Yes.
That's true. So what you're saying is, what I'm getting is the authoritarian type of parenting that most of us had in our homes is not working. And I think if you start coming out as that parent who wants to impose things without really discussing and making children understand why you are choosing that decision rather than this other decision, you're more likely going to fail and raise rebellious kids.
Yes.
And then also I think this thing of a child doing something nice because you're there, and then once you turn your back, they do something completely different.
That is so huge, because when children get a little bit of freedom, they go to school, they go to high school, for example, just away from you, then they become something else, they behave something else. When you are told your child is doing this and this, you are like, no, that's not it. Because when they come home, they are so holy. And it used to happen, especially where the parent was really strict and dictatorial, military type. So, and children just used to live double lives. I used to find it a lot in campus. Within the first 3 weeks, if it's the girl child who was not even wearing a trouser at home, because it's wrong to wear a trouser, now they're wearing trousers, very short things. But anytime they go home, they are back to their old clothes. Others are drinking, and at home they don't drink, and this kind of thing. So let's parent with openness and with more accommodativeness, even of our children, and recognizing that the times that we are in are not the times that we were brought up in. So when we recognize that, then now we are able to nurture the children. Yes.
So as you parent your child, learning is a continuous process. Please remember that. Then I want us to move to the second thing, and that is hardships. I know there are so many. I remember when we were having this discussion, you mentioned which some hardships are okay, some hardships are not. I think we can start there. Which hardships are okay, like they can shape you to become a better person, and which hardships are going to completely mess you up, like they break you and make you come out to become something completely broken or messed from home. Which are these hardships? Yeah.
Okay. They're the normal hardships of life. We call them normal because I think maybe most of us have been lacking one thing or another as we grew up, or even now. Children may still want something, and we may not be able to provide it. So sometimes we may be poor, or the hardship of poverty, and
Mm,
there's even levels of it. There's very deep poverty, and there's you don't you have, yes, the basic needs, but there's some things you don't have, like that. And so a hardship like that one can shape you or break you depending on the support that you have with your parent. Okay, there's a child who will feel not enough. They why are other children going to church with nice clothes, and then you have reminded me, Kitambo guys used to go with the school uniform to church, because that was the Sunday best, because there was no it was the best thing that they could wear to church. So why are you wearing these clothes to church, and others are wearing very fancy dresses? Why don't you have these things in schools while others have them? And especially when you're in a situation where some people have and you don't have. So if you do not have the emotional support from home and the mental support from home, you need a parent first who knows to tell you that, first of all, this hardship that we are facing is not permanent. Things can change, and they can change for us, they can even change for you. So be open minded. And also, when you see others not having and you don't have, it does not mean you are a lesser person. You are whole, you are complete. Okay, and even the love that you have, first of all, is just enough to, just to clothe you in that. That is why some children will get out of that poverty and move on. It will not even disturb them, even if they see others who have, but there are others who will be deeply, deeply disturbed. One thing I mentioned, I have seen parents on social media borrowing, who has a bicycle, who's or a TV. We do not have a TV. My child is pestering. My child is really feeling bad because they don't have a TV, or my child is feeling bad because all the children around have a bicycle and we do not have a bicycle. So that shows there's some discrepancy. There's something there that's not happening. The child is feeling bad, yes, but what have you done about it as the parent? What conversations are you having? We do not have a bicycle, but that does not make you a lesser child or a lesser person. You can climb a tree, you can run around. There are many games you can play with. You don't have to ride a bicycle. Or you are even able to ask your friends, hey, can I have a ride? It's okay when they give you a ride, and it's okay also when they don't give you a ride. They can also say no. And when they say no, feel good about yourself, and move on. Just keep on assure hug and all that. Okay, so that, and then when you are able to get a bicycle, I will get you a bicycle. But just know you are loved. You are just pour out your heart, pour out your assurance to those children, instead of showing them that those people without bicycle wanajiringa, they are boasting what they are doing. What? So you are again fueling. They refuse to give you a bicycle. They are so bad. Why did they behave like that? So now you make the child feel more bad about themselves and about the situation that they are in. So a bad hardship can be maybe when a child is facing abuse of any kind. A child can face an emotional abuse. A child can face physical abuse, where the parent maybe just beats them. There are some kids who used to be hanged on the roof and beaten. There are some parents used to bite children because they're so much angered until yani wanawakula na meno. That used to be the worst thing. So, and again, there is also abuse that can happen in the home, sexual abuse by either people around the home or people outside the home, and that kind of thing. You can have a parent who is emotionally unavailable for the child. So no contact, as long as he has provided everything for the child, there's no interaction at all between them and the child. So a child is just there like alone person, a very separate person from the rest of the family. So that will cause some hardships on the part of the on part of the child. Mostly abuse, or when maybe a parent is very sick. A parent can be bedridden, or having a chronic sickness or something like that. Sometimes we have parents also who are mentally unstable. Those hardships that a child can pass through, or a parent who is into drugs, plus violence in the home, and or a parent who is in jail, or things like that. Those are things that can really affect the children very adversely in their lives, and then they tend to either withdraw or become very aggressive, and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You talked about the side of lack.
Yes.
I like the fact that you said, because what I know is each one of us lacks something. I mean, there's no one who has everything in this world. There's
Very true.
Yeah. So in life, you'll always meet someone who has more, and they have more of what you want, and you have some people who have less, and so that means you have more of what they want. So
exactly.
they will not be able to keep up with that, and I think you should not even try to keep up with that, because that is life. And the most important thing is how strong you are, as you said. How are you understanding the situation and the fact that nothing is permanent? Everything is what you wanted 5 years ago is not, maybe it's not what you actually need today.
Yes.
So you spend the time to keep on chasing. Now we discussed about this other side, about the kids who actually literally, as you say, everything they say they want, they are given. Like yeah, mommy, I want this. Okay, mommy, I want this. Daddy, I want this. Like literally, there's like a small world that has been created around them.
Yes.
So yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So what that does, it gives the child an unreal view of the world. Okay, that in the world you get everything you want, which is not true. So when that child goes in spaces where the parents are not there, or something happens to the parents, and then they now do not have whatever they need, then they begin to seek either other bad ways of getting whatever they need, or they begin now to internalize that I do not have what I need, and then they have all these mixed feelings, either I am a failure, and that is not, when you don't have what you need, does not mean that you have failed. So when they internalize those things, I am a failure and etc., then now they begin to look for ways to cover up that bad feeling of failing, maybe by drugs or doing other things, because anyway they don't have what they need, and they knew in this world anything you need, you just call for it and it comes. It's like this, and it comes. So it gives a really distorted view, and the life skills that a child has. What do I do when I don't have something? What are the options that I have? This child cannot think like that. They just get stuck. They don't have this, and they just get stuck, and they cannot move on. Maybe there are children who saw their siblings maybe going abroad for studies, and then something happened in their time, they haven't gone abroad, so they break and they decide, I'm not studying in Kenya, I'm not doing any of these things. They refuse, they become, they become something else. And then now we start dealing with other issues. But the bottom line of the issue was that this child was used to certain things, and now, they're not able to get them.
Yeah. And I think what we sometimes see in these children who have been raised up in very rich families, they end up with addictions, indeed all these different forms of addiction, simply because they just don't know how best they can navigate through the no's that life usually gives them. And what research has also shown is that people who are centered into material things are the most people, actually. So it's okay to have material things. It's very okay. I mean, you don't want to be rich, but that's not of who you are. That's
What happens is normally those parents use material things to cover for the time that they are not available for the children. So okay, I need a PS, I need an iPhone, I need this. So the parent is away, but once they come back with this gift or something that kind of pacifies, the space when the parent was there. The parent could even be at home every day, but is not in contact with the with the child, is not in any interaction. And I saw this a lot, especially when I was a teacher. So they give things, but in the heart of that child there is a deep cry for, they need that parent child interaction, which is really not there. So they would come and tell you certain things. Teacher, this is what happens at home. Me, I don't even see my mom, I don't even see my dad, or that kind of thing. And there's a huge cry, and there's a way it really affects them, because they are not nurtured by the person who should be nurturing them.
Okay. And remember when in the definition they said emotional milestones. And you want to parent someone emotionally, you need to be there emotionally. You can't parent someone emotionally with physical things. It won't work. Good. Then we come to the third thing, which is now the handling of the negative emotions. Because as we said, sometimes life gives you a no.
Yes.
And you've seen even adults throwing tantrums, and you're like, okay. So how do we teach our children? How do we teach our children how best they can handle their negative emotions? Because I know things like, it's not as early as tantrums. When you're 2, when your child is a toddler, a 2-year-old, they said maybe I want Kinder Joy, and you've said no, and all of a sudden someone is on the floor rolling, screaming, throwing legs, and it starts from there to teenagehood, where you tell them no, they go bang the doors, lock themselves in the room, do what? Yes. And they even start drinking, depending with how you've been taking care of this. So how do we handle negative emotions in our children? How do we teach them that there are so many no's that are coming? Actually, this is not the first one, and this is not the last one. How do we handle those? How do we teach them on how to handle the negative emotions?
Okay, so now this is taught from way back. It's not something you can teach when a child is at the beginning, 5 years. No. You teach from way back that you will not. There are times when there'll be. There are times when I will say no. There are times when the world will say no to you, and so what will you do? So for example, if you told a child no and they begin to cry, or they begin to throw tantrums, and so you are at that point. So you need to. Some parents will now, okay, then they'll give the child whatever they want, because the child threw a tantrum, and they are in them, the tantrum is annoying the parent really. So okay, if it's like that, then chukua shika. So they give the child whatever they want, or they make a promise, I'm going to bring it in the evening, so that the child can stop that. Now some parents now will now begin to beat the child because they are throwing a tantrum. Again, you are hurting the child more, who is really trying to express themselves. So you can use an accommodative method, and try, as you say, you are no. How are you putting your no? It's like this, for today I'm not able to do this and that, or I will not give you this and that. Give a reason, have a conversation. What we do as parents, mostly we just give answers, no, yes. We don't converse, we don't make them understand. So have a conversation with the child so that they are able to understand you from your point, and you also hear them out. Ask, why would you need this thing? So they'll tell you why they need it, and then okay, I have understood why you need it, but for the moment, or for the time being, I'm not able to provide it for you, or you cannot pick that thing in the supermarket because of that and that. So have a conversation, and when you normalize having a conversation, you will find even a child asking you, Mom, can I pick this Kinder Joy? So they are going to ask, and when they say no, and when you say no, then they're going to say, it's okay, Mom, I know next time you're going to buy for us. And you as a parent, even when they are not there, you'll go pick for them the Kinder Joy and bring for them at home. And then now they will realize that it's not that you don't like giving them what they want. It's only that sometimes you are not able to, but when you are able to, you do it. And also, another method that can be used is time out. But when we say time out, we don't mean sending away the child to another room, enda huko ukae hapo nitakufungia huko, or that kind of thing. I'm going to, shut the door and you go and stay in the other room alone. No. That brings when the child is seated there alone, they are feeling rejection. They are feeling rejected. They are feeling they are a bad person, which is not really true. They are feeling that you only love them when they do good things or when they are good. So a child now will always strive to be good, and that brings in another attitude which is called people pleasing. So they will people please even in their adulthood, trying to be good so that they are not rejected, so that they are not thrown out. You get? So if you're doing a timeout, go and sit with the child in proximity. Allow them to process their emotions. You are not interfering with their silence or their quietness at that time, or if they are crying, no, allow them to cry it out until it's over. There's a graph of crying, so it starts slowly and then it peaks and then it comes down naturally. So what happens with parents when the crying starts peaking? A long time ago, you used to be beaten, and when you cry, you are beaten because you cried. Okay. When it starts speaking like this, you now become, why are you crying? You again add a lot of more anguish to the child. So allow the stress hormones. That time is a child is having stress hormones. Allow the stress hormones to go up and to go down naturally. It will stop, and by the time that the natural crying is stopping, the child will have resolved the issues, and the negative emotions will be out of their body. The thing is, when a child buries the negative emotions with them, these are things that are going to disturb them in future, and they'll be running in mind subconsciously, helping them make bad decisions subconsciously, and this kind of thing. So we've said, for timeout, sit through with your child, allow your child to process the emotions, and then after that, you can have a small talk and just discuss how that went. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that. And I think that's what you call validating the emotions, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. I really like Just
we are
continue.
saying children were not allowed to feel pain. They were not allowed to feel anger. They are not allowed to feel hurt. And yet, children are as human as we are. We get angered, we feel pain, we feel hurt. So there is no way we can expect our children to act like superhumans. Like, you should not feel anger. They should feel anger and ask, Mom, why did you do such a thing? You
Yeah.
know what? Why? I feel this and this. So they
Yeah.
should be allowed to feel. We should not criminalize negative emotions in children.
Mm.
Boys don't cry. Already you have criminalized the
Mm.
negative emotions and attached it to a gender. You have
Mm.
said that boys don't cry. So
Yeah.
when the man grows to a man and things are happening in his life and he's feeling broken and stressed, he cannot let it out. He cannot allow the negative emotions to go out through crying. And so he uses other bad methods to let out the negative emotions. And that's why you are finding most of them are either killing one another, killing themselves, or doing certain things. So allow your child to experience the negative emotions, but be there to ensure that the child is not becoming destructive. Like when they begin to bang doors and do those things, just ensure that the child is not being destructive. Otherwise, if again you do not allow them to have negative emotions and to experience them, a child is going to grow up with a distorted view of how life is.
Yeah.
Okay, life is. I'm not supposed to feel. I'm this. I'm a hard. No, 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 no. You are not, you're not a stone. You are human. So allow yourself to feel. Okay, this is the thing that comes. I'm a strong person. No.
Okay. And I think also that's how you teach them empathy, because if
Yes.
they're able to put themselves in, because I imagine they find themselves in that situation, they're able to allow this other person to process their emotions while they're
Yes.
there, which I think is also a very good life skill, especially it's a social skill, because
Exactly.
you don't need to, you should always be trying to be empathetic but not sympathetic, because
Yes.
you help more when you're empathetic.
True.
Good. Now we talk about failure, because yeah, life happens and boom, you're on the ground face down and you're not. So how do parents handle this, especially because none of us would really want to see our children in that state? You see, you'll always be tempted to go there and help, because of course you know better.
Yes.
um, how best can we handle that? Because I'm imagining, sometimes I do that, I know, sometimes, and I pinch myself, but it's not easy. Your child,
Mm.
your son or your daughter is really crying, they're trying so hard, and you can actually see it's so simple, but they're there and you have to tell them, no, 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 keep on trying, keep on trying. So how best do we handle this? Because I know sometimes it gets into us and you find yourself actually helping, which is more harmful. So how best
Yeah.
can we handle, yeah, when they have to be forced to go through failure, or maybe they're really, really trying something and it's not working as they would want it to? How do we handle
Mhm.
the situation? Yeah.
So our role is to offer support emotionally and mentally. So, and that means we encourage. So a child can come to you, maybe they did not do well in the exam, or you have the results with you. So instead of adding more injury and asking them in a way that, why are you number two and you are always number one? Try to understand, maybe what subjects do you need more? Do you need more? Do you need to take charge more of? Do you need to revise more of? What help would you need? So it would be important to ask the child, if I was to if you were to be helped in that thing that you're failing in, where would you need help? Okay, so that they even think, and then they can even tell you, no, actually I figured. And then they will now go, they'll just get a light bulb
Yeah.
moment. Okay, where would you need help? How can I come in to help you? So you'll find that sometimes they will figure what they need to do, or they will actually tell you, mom or dad, here is where you can come in to help me, or let me think about it and see, let me think more about it. So your work is to provide space for them to expand their mind, provide space for them to expand their mind. Do not make them feel like they have failed. Parents used to make children feel like they have really failed. They have really failed, and that was just let me talk about if teenage pregnancy. I've seen a parent telling the child, now that you have decided to get a child, you have become a mother. Okay, now I don't have anything else to do with you, so it's for you to do what a parent does, you know. So you've left a child who is maybe 15 and should off every responsibility because they have decided to become, and yet they did not decide to become a mother. It's something that happened. It's you know, it's a mistake. At that age, it's really a mistake, where now you should now bring them back slowly and help them to reorganize their lives. You have left them to the elements, and you know, and it keeps on going, it becoming worse and worse. Yeah. So just to bring them back slowly, have the conversation. Where do I come in to help you? First, have you seen your mistake? Let's go through. You are doing step 1, step 2, step 3. So where did you go wrong? Okay, then now they'll be able to recapture that. Yeah, and that failure does not mean they are bad people or they are not enough. Let them know that everyone fails. Even the most genius person has failed several times.
Yeah.
Okay, in order to get where they got. Yes.
And I like the fact that we should not allow them to feel like they have failed in this specific thing, but they are not as a human. They are not. They have not like they are not a failure. It's just that in that circumstance, that's where they have actually failed.
Yes.
We should separate themselves from the failure. Now, what about natural consequences? Because I know this is also one of the things that is usually advised, natural consequences. So a child tries something and something bad happens. So at what point in time do we allow them to go through the natural consequences?
Yes.
Yeah.